Kiki Benny.
Want to make a video topic request, or if you just want to let me know you rock with me, send a donation to the Cash App or one of these other places, you feel me? Much appreciated. And follow me on social media too. What's up, y'all? State Almighty with another New York State prison story as I'm walking my 4 miles a day. So let me tell y'all how when I was in Green Correctional, the damn parole board violated me and didn't let me go home and made me wait for my conditional release date, which was a whole damn 6 months later. And I'm also explaining what the parole board is to those of us who don't know the intricate working process of the parole board, right? And I'm also explaining conditional release and different terms like that and what makes people have to max out and how can you go home soon, right? So, when you go to New York State Prison, right, they basically set you up to win. I ain't gonna lie, they kind of set you up to win, but when I say win, I mean they give you the opportunity to go home early. But if you go home early or not, it basically depends on how you moving up there, how much trouble you getting into, the severity of the trouble you getting into, and also the severity of your charge. Because what they want you to do when you get in there is they base it on your charge. Like I went in there for robbery. So what I had to do in order to even have a chance to have the eligibility to go home before my conditional release date is I had to do like a couple anger management programs and stuff like that within the jail. So it's like a couple anger management classes and a couple rehab classes because I told them that I smoked weed. It's like, you telling me smoke a little weed, they'll have you in a drug class with a bunch of crackheads and shit, right? But that's besides the point. When I first got upstate, when you first go upstate, they give you your papers, right? And your papers say your charge. The day you got locked up, they tell you your max out date, which is if you blow all your chances and you get in too much trouble and you're not going to be released on parole because you assed out, you maxing out, you lost all your good time and stuff like that, right? So they tell you that. They tell you a conditional release date, which is typically about 80-90% of your time is served by that point. And basically because you did almost all your time anyway, they didn't let you home, considering the fact that you got a couple completed programs, and then you have the early parole date, which is I think it's called the merit release date or something like that. And that's if your charge ain't too serious and you got a couple programs completed, right? So I just got up north. They gave my paper, stuff like that. But I knew within 3 months, I would get a parole hearing, and then I had a chance to go home early before having to do 24 months, right? Which would have me at about 20 months. Now, this is what the parole hearing is like, right? So, it's virtual. They take you in a room inside the jail. They sit you down. You will have your state greens on and everything. They will have maybe like 3 white folk or maybe 1 white person who's like a judge. And they basically talking to you about your case and the severity of your case and asking you what kind of programs you've been completing and stuff like that, right? And then ask you what kind of trouble you've been getting into, even though they know, right? So I went through that, the whole spiel, you know, that whole bullshit. And then I went back to the house that I was in. Now, maybe a week or 2 after that, they came, gave papers, and now the sheriffs, the officers, they giving everybody they parole hearing letters, right? So they calling all the names, and somebody who been in green longer than me, he's like, hey, listen, so this the deal, bro, because I've been hit at parole board twice already. This is the deal. They giving out all these envelopes with your results on paper. Here's the thing. When they give you your envelope, if it's light and if it's only 1 or 2 papers in there, you going home. But if they give you your envelope, and you got a big, fat, heavy envelope with a bunch of papers, nigga, they giving you the long version of, nigga, you not going home. You're stuck here, right? So I'm watching them call names. I seen a couple dudes get hyped. They getting their little small envelopes. And then I hear them, they like, Peterson, Julius. I walk to the officer. This officer gonna give me the heaviest goddamn envelope I ever seen or held in my 18 years of living. 18 years of living, right? I immediately was about to rip it up and throw it out, but I'm like, just in case this inmate was a hater, I don't want to rip this out and not know I'm going home, right? So I open it up, and yeah, just like he said, they said, hey, listen, we determined that blah, 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 blah. You will remain here until your conditional release, which was 4 months from that said time. But I'm like, that's a whole extra 4 months I gotta be up here. I already got jumped and everything. Like these dudes try to jump me again, I mess around and stab one of these niggas. Like 4 months could turn into 4 more years in this bitch. Like, but I ate it. I sucked it up, you know. I dealt with it. I rolled with the punches. It sucked, but what else was I gonna do? You're not going home, nigga. You did the crime. Now do the time. Do the time, right? So I'm like, damn, I'ma just hold it down. And you know, 4 months later, I went home. I seen freedom, you know, so who am I to complain? Who was I to complain, you know? When this dude's that's looking at 6, I'm looking at 2 years minimum, 3 years maximum. Considering I don't get into no more drama, you know, which could happen at any point. But I decided I was gonna will myself home, not allow myself, you know what I'm saying? Honestly speaking, it's a lot of violent things that I wanted to do, but I chose not to do because I'm like, I gotta think ahead. I really had to control my emotions. Because I'm like, if I get at this dude and then get caught, I'll go to the box. Catch a tier 3. Worse, catch a new charge. Worse, kill one of these goofy ass niggas, right? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just hold it down. Unless somebody put their hands on me, I'm chilling. Put their hands on me again. I'm chilling, right? Cause I wanna go home. Ever see any of you niggas out in the town, I'm getting at you niggas. And I really didn't. And that's that, you feel me? But that's the story about how I got violated at the parole board and what the parole board is and what a conditional release is, you know? Like, shit, comment, subscribe, stay the almighty. Peace.